know niggas always on the Big Mac. You know, drive through, we drive by in the car with a Big Mac. The last year you dropped, that shit was garbage, take that shit back. Once you got your rubber right, but you try to bring the country right. Talking about your brother, what happened to that boy? It's looking like they selling crack to that boy. Really know enough of the jokes, how niggas get embarrassed. I really got some money, I catch you niggas out of Paris. You been a fly bitch. And then he said that I was really chasing the feature. Niggas a gorilla cause he got some apes in his features. So all my gorillas got stones, I had these apes come and meet you. I put these billies on a jet, you pick a place there, meet you, nigga. And talk about my jewels, that was a cheap shot. And these is all VVS, these ain't the cheap ones. I don't know if you're a rapper, I said treat you like a street op. I know the top 50 list, that wasn't. I could imagine what you're going through.
Let's not waste no time, dog. So you heard it. Hopefully you heard it, because you know how YouTube do. If it's a re-upload, the clip is not going to be at the front. But Jim Jones responded, or at least teased a response to Pusha T. And it was very direct as far as the bars. Push went subliminal, Jim Jones went direct. And that shows a clear difference between the two. We'll just get straight into it. I'm gonna break down some of the bars and stuff like that, you know, because that's what I like to do. You know, the other channels, they really don't be that into the bars or the culture or nothing like that, but I really be into this shit. So, you know, in the first clip, you know, he mentioned Arby's and the Big Mac, you know, the beef and stuff like that. I don't know. He hasn't released a full dish yet, so I'm not going to be too critical, but I feel like a McDonald's punchline opportunity was missed. Because, you know, Push wrote, like, the McDonald's, I'm loving it with Justin Timberlake and stuff like that. So, you know, like, I really feel like a better line could have connected with that. But, you know, it's a cool punchline, just some cool shit to add there. But then you got the look like they've been selling crack to that boy, as far as, you know, the what happened to that boy, the malice, you know, line and stuff like that. That's just a dig. I don't really... That's not heavy, but you know, the thing about it is, if you look at the Drake beef, when he mentioned Virginia Williams, Pusha T's wife, you know, Push went on a Joe Budden podcast and said that's what unlocked the whole Adidon shit, because it's like, oh, you went personal, the gloves is off. So, you know, that's gonna be his excuse to have the gloves off and stuff like that. I'm gonna just get this out the way as far as the gloves off and stuff like that. I don't know about half of this stuff as far as what I'm about to mention, but somebody in the comments on my last video mentioned, you know, with all the dirt from Max B, JoJo Capone, and it was somebody else that they said, but, you know, they said that, you know, it's just a lot of dirt that Push could use as public and stuff like that. Whatever, you know, we'll see how that pans out, because Push is absolutely gonna fucking respond. But the thing I'm concerned about is, when is Jim gonna drop the diss, and if Push sees this as something urgent, or if he's gonna wait like a whole year till another album, you know, because that's really gonna determine, you know, a lot as far as how hot the beef is and stuff like that. But let's move on from that, you know. So it's a personal dig at somebody he loves, you know, his brother and stuff like that. Now, outside of that, he brushed off the whole I'm chasing the feature. He just brushed that off, and he also brushed off, you know, your chains is fake enamel and all that shit. He brushed those two things off with the bars. He also said he got some ape in his features. That's racist, but who cares? You know, because Jim is black. But yeah, you know, and even then, that's like, you know, that's just another dig, you know. The other thing is, and this is just pretty much the rest of it, like, you know, he threatened him a few times, you know how that goes. You know how the gangsters do, man. You know, he said he'd have the Billies come on the jet to meet him, you know, and he got money, he'll send niggas to Paris, you know, all that stuff. So, you know, that's basically what it consists of. And I just got to keep it 500,000, no bias, you know, because it's not like I'm a huge fan of either one of these cats, but if his goal is to try and just like get it started, get it heated up, get this nigga to come out and drop an actual diss so they can actually have the back and forth for real, then that's cool. That's cool. Because what Push did was kind of light, and this is kind of light, even though it's coming from a heavy perspective, which I'll get into as far as a perspective. But you know, as far as this, like, if it's a jab, you know, and even then I haven't heard the whole diss, so he might have some other shit in there, you know, so you gotta wait on it. But you know, as far as that, it's a light jab from what I heard. It's nothing over the top. It's nothing above average or anything like that. Just got to keep it 500,000. It's, in the words of Jim, it's not a top 50 verse. But as far as the other aspect I mentioned, as far as the perspective, this is what it is. We are in an era where, you know, back in the 90s, everybody was doing straight direct disses and stuff like that. Like no Vaseline, fucking Tupac hit him up and all that shit. You know, when Jay-Z came into power, you know, and 50 was more direct as well. But when Jay came into power, you know, it was all about the subliminal, and that's how he really moved with a lot of his shit. So he's one of the rappers who popularized subliminal dissing, you know, Jay-Z and stuff like that. But, and even then, you know, of course he's had direct disses, but, you know, he's done a lot of subliminal disses, you know, so it is what it is. Somebody like me, I appreciate the subliminal, but sometimes you just be like, I want to see a direct confrontation lyrically. I want to see the direct lyrical, like, you know, battle. That's what I want to see. You know, but as far as Push, that's the route he took, the subliminal, because in the climate that we're in, and as far as all the top rappers, Kendrick, Cole, because he subliminally went at like fucking Wale and fucking Kanye. You know, that's the climate that we're in. Like all these rappers, you know, do subliminal disses. Kendrick was doing it to Big Sean, and Big Sean started it off with Kendrick. So we in a subliminal diss era. You know, that's the standard now. As far as Jim, he came direct, and I respect that. But the thing about the subliminal shit is like you want to be subtle, but you don't want it to be too direct. You want people to get the message, but you don't want to make it so overt that you can point at it and 100% say like, you know, that's towards that guy. Especially if it was a situation we didn't know about, like, you know, we have to figure it out. We have to piece shit together. With the direct disses, you don't have any of that figuring out. It's like, okay, this is about this guy. So when we get to that point, it's like, okay, well, we took away the whole cleverness of, you know, doing the sneaky shit and stuff like that. So what is the level of cleverness in the disses and the bars that the nigga is doing? And let's be honest, like it's not high level, top tier shit that we hearing. You know, it's just what it is. But we'll see how the shit go on, you know. We'll see, you know, what the actual diss sounds like, the whole thing. And we'll see what, you know, Push has up his sleeve. And if J.R. Writer comes in, drops a verse and stuff like that, we'll see how that goes as well. And if he does, if J.R. Writer does get into it and he decides to respond to J.R. Writer, that's gonna be some shit. I think J.R. still got it. I don't know. But, you know, if that happens, we'll find out. So that's just my assessment of everything, you know. Just to recap, you know, as far as the diss, it's light. It's good if it's a jab. It's good if it's something to get it started. But if that's something that you want to lean on, you trying to really knock a nigga out with this ain't the one. This ain't the knockout blow. This the jab. You know, and if it's a jab, I respect it. If it's the motherfucking, if this is like you putting all your power into the punch, it's going to be a long fucking trip for you, dog. You know, and we go back to the other shit that I mentioned in the other video, you know, all the threats and stuff in this shit. He means that shit, dog. He means that shit. He maybe not catching you in Paris because niggas don't want those motherfucking Brittany Griner prison problems in another country. But, you know, he'll definitely catch you at Stake 48 or one of them shits, you know. You know, that's what it is. But outside of that, the other aspect was the directness, you know. It's not subliminal, it's direct. And I feel like if you come direct, you have to come way harder than you came subliminal, or way harder than somebody coming subliminal, because we know what it is. And in both situations, we're looking for the cleverness. But the thing that the subliminal allows you to get away with is, and I got to keep it real, not saying much of anything. You're not really saying much of anything. and you can get like, just because it's the thing about the subliminal is just because it's a diss, just because it's a hidden diss, that's where the excitement comes from. And there may be a level of cleverness to it or not, you know, but because I'll give you an example real quick before I wrap this up. Jay said, you know, something, 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 niggas ain't even got my lady's money. Whatever it was a reference to some Wayne bars or some shit, you know. It wasn't too much over the top about niggas ain't got my lady's money. It's just like, it's just how I said the Jim Jones shit was a dig. That was a dig, but it was subliminal. Niggas is more excited about the fact that he's dissing Wayne than the actual content of the bar. Let me know your thoughts on what you heard, you know, the disses, and even then some of the stuff I said. I'm out.